Hello everyone, Zydwin here, and today I am going to be talking about the basics of the Warpriest subclass in Pathfinder Second Edition. The Warpriest is a subclass of cleric. It is closer to the traditional cleric, which is found in D&D 3.5. They have light and medium armor proficiency, as well as scaling proficiency in weapons. At level 2 and higher, they can also take a feat giving them heavy armor proficiency. With this, the Warpriest has the main stats of Wisdom and Strength. While having this durability, Warpriests are also full spellcasters, meaning that they toe the line closer to the Cleric or Druid Zilla from 3.5 without being overpowered. So the basic proficiencies of the Warpriest are the light and medium armor. They also get shield block and proficiency with shields, which cloistered clerics do not have. This means that the Warpriest can also fight in melee, unlike the Cloistered Cleric, which has no armor proficiency, no shield proficiency, and no weapon proficiency. Warpriests also have proficiency in some weapons. They get martial weapons at higher levels and their deity's favored weapon at level 1. So if this weapon is a simple weapon, the damage die is increased by a step, so they can keep up in damage with martial weapons while still using their deity's favored weapon. In addition, all clerics are trained in their deity skill, religion, and additional skills equal to their intelligence. One thing that I highly recommend that all clerics do is take proficiency in medicine, as they'll likely have one of the highest modifiers in the party for wisdom, which means that they are the most effective at healing. If you pick human as a Warpriest, you can also get a first level class feat at level 1, which can open up certain options. So, deities. All deities have a stat block. They give a set of spells at various levels, usually free, although certain deities may provide up to 9. And they also give proficiency with their favored weapon. They also allow their clerics to be sanctified, either holy or unholy, with the Remaster. All deities require that their clerics obey certain anathemas, which are things they cannot do. An example would be an anathema of no killing innocents. This is common for some good deities. An edict is something that followers are supposed to do, including clerics. An example of Sekhmet ordering her followers to heal. So, now on to the basics of spellcasting. Clerics are prepared divine spellcasters. This means that they have a set of spells that they can cast each day, but they have to put a specific spell in each slot. They know every single spell on the divine list. However, they cannot swap spells after they prepare them. Here at the right is a sample illustration of the spells. Up at the top are the cantrips. These cantrips can be cast an infinite number of times. Below that is the first level spells. These first level spells can only be cast once per slot. In addition, at the bottom, the divine font is shown. This gives an additional number of the spells heal and harm equal to 4. Prior to the remaster, this was equal to charisma modifier. But now it's number by level, which is 4 at level 1, and it increases at higher levels. So if you take a certain feat, you can cast either heal or harm if it's available to your deity. Otherwise, you are restricted to one or the other. The heal spell heals living, whereas the harm spell heals undead. Respectively, they also do the opposite to the opposite. So if someone in your party has negative healing, you should be aware of this. The ancestries with this are Dampier, Skeleton, and I think there's one more, but I don't recall at the moment. So, here is a list of first level spells which are useful for buffing, because the cleric is usually a support caster. At the top is Heal and Harm. Both are very good spells for their level, as they provide the best healing capacity in the game depending on positive or negative healing. The second set I'm going to highlight is Runic Weapon and Runic Body. These provide a +1 striking weapon to either an unarmed weapon user for Runic Body or a weapon user for Runic Weapon. The next spell below this is Bless and Bane. Respectively, one provides +1 to attack to all allies near you, whereas the other provides -1 to attack to all enemies around. The final spell I'm going to highlight is Protection, which provides +1 to AC and saving throws for allies. All of these highlight the benefits of a +1 in Pathfinder. This last slide is a sample spell preparation that I put together for a first level cleric of Sekhmet. So this is from a campaign world that I have, which is undead heavy and intrigue heavy, meaning that certain spells are more useful or less useful than others. So the cantrips I put are Illuminate because it provides light. This is useful if members of your party do not have dark vision, which is very common. The second one is Vitality Lash, which deals damage to undead. As undead are common enemies, this makes sense in this context. The third is Detect Magic, which is generally useful if you think you're going to be coming into contact with magic. An example of this would be in a dungeon. The fourth is Guidance, a small +1, which can be useful for certain skill checks. The final one I put on the list is Divine Lance, which provides ranged damage. This can be useful if you don't want to get in melee, as the Cleric of Sekhmet has an axe, which is the favored weapon of Sekhmet. However, you could possibly exchange Divine Lance for Message in this circumstance, depending on whether it's more intrigue or combat heavy in the day. So the first level spells I picked here are Runic Weapon, because the party has a lot of weapon users in this case. If you have a monk, you may want to swap this out for Runic Body. And this bonus is very good for allowing marshals to deal additional damage. The second first level spell would be Protection or Bless, depending on what your party has and what the cleric plays like. If you're constantly melee, Bless might be more useful because it can provide a bonus to 2 or more allies. Whereas if you are constantly staying back or letting the tank character go in front, you might provide Protection instead, because this would benefit a tank a lot more. Finally, I put the healing font on this illustration because it is automatically provided. That is all for today. If you have any additional question or comment, please put them down below. See you!